Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Thursday, the 5th day of October, 2023. Well, let's see what we have here. I've got the oracle card ready here. It's the White Buffalo Calf Woman from the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. She appeared to the Lakota people, apparently, and she brought the notion of integrity, walking the path of integrity to the people. Uh, Basically, what she's talking about here is holding reverence for all life and seeing everything as sacred and essentially in unity consciousness with all. The idea is if there's any disharmony that you're experiencing, to look within to see where your own balance of perception lies. Um, and basically, when you walk the path of integrity, from that you achieve true abundance, understanding the sacredness of life, understanding the sacredness of experience, the sacredness of all things, especially our interactions with one another, but our interactions with the land, with animals, with just everything, um, and staying on that path of integrity to achieve true abundance. So, anyway, consider that today. What did I do with them? Here they are. I'm trying to keep them in order here so that I don't repeat myself with one of them. I think it's just a very cool deck, though. I like oracle decks, and I don't use them here, or haven't used them here in the past, but I've been working with this one, and I really like it. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get started with the runes for today and see where that takes us here as far as the significators for the reading. I hope everybody's doing well this week. We're finishing up the last of some of the harvest anyway. We got a little bit more time for the carrots, I think, and the broccoli, who knows. I mean, we tend to pick that through the winter, depending on how cold it gets. But anyway, today we have Vunyo. Vunyo is about, and it kind of aligns somewhat well with the wild buffalo calf woman and integrity and seeing everything as sacred. Vunyo is rather like that. It's about fellowship and joy, but it's expressing that in a way that is not transactional. It's simply the light of spirit invoking Vunyo in your life. So I almost hate to see what the below side of things is with the Geomancy rune, but let's take a look anyway. Or wait, wrong thing. I'm going to take another rune there. My hair went everywhere there. Let me go ahead and throw down the 4 elemental runes. We'll put them in the order of air, fire, water, and earth. Well, oh, this is interesting. We have Puella. Now, Puella and Pur are both youthful energies. Pur would be the scattered little boy energy, and Puella would be the scattered little girl energy. With little boys, with Pur, this would be Pur. It's complement, but this is Puella or Puella. And it's about I mean, if you imagine a little girl who's, I've said this before, who's running through the meadow chasing a butterfly, that would be an example of Puella. Someone who's joyful and curious and maybe a little scattered in their thinking, but only because there's so much to look at and so much to think about and so much to do. It's a fortunate, but not too fortunate, because of the scattered focus and the youthful energy of it all, still learning and everything. You haven't gotten into adulthood yet. But on the other hand, if you keep that youthful awareness and youthful curiosity about you, then it makes it much easier, I think, to live in Vunyo with other people, the fellowship and joy that comes from within, nothing that's transactional or you're not, there's no agenda about it. You're not getting anything from it other than just the joyful experience. So it looks like, we'll take a look at the cards, of course, but we'll see. But it looks like this is going to be a positive day where you can engage with others and have that work out well. So, but again, it's not transactional. It's not dependent upon other people per se. It's really just what comes from you and from the higher consciousness that has taken over, and you're moving about life with that instead of ego driven, which so often happens. So we're cutting the deck here, and I'm going to take 3 cards. And let's see, did we have strength last time? Oh, we did. Okay, well, taming the wild within and all of that. But we have the magician. Last time we had two cards from the major arcana. And this today we have the same, not the same cards, but the same major arcana, 2 cards from that. We're looking at the magician and strength. Magician is card 1, strength is card 8. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles, sort of where you're taking stock of where you're at and where you are in your harvest, if you will. Well, let's first talk about the magician. As card 1 of the major arcana, the Fool has already taken its leap into form, and the magician is responsible for creating that. He represents the development of will, alchemical balance, a life force, inspiration, manifestation. And he has his hands raised, or one raised up to spirit and one to form in an as above, so below stance. Essentially, you see the figure 8 above his head. You're going to see the same thing in the card of strength as well. So there's a level of eternity, or an aspect of eternity here to this whole process. We're constantly in this process, whether it's focusing into form or manifesting something new as we go through life, as we're always doing. How you do that in balance, alchemical balance, you see the 4 suits of the tarot here. These can also be referred to as tools. You have the wand for fire, you have the sword or the athame for air, you have the chalice for water, and you have the pentacle here for earth. And so you're looking at everything is created in alchemical balance, but then you have the addition of spirit here as well. You see the lilies and the roses down below him here, and then the rose garlands above. It talks about or manifesting beauty in your life and newness and purity coming from that pure motive, a pure agenda, if you will, pure intention. And then from there we have the 7 in the center of it. Again, we see 7 pentacles here, 1 on the ground and 1 and 6 more throughout this. It's either they look like grapes, and it could be he's at the end of maybe a fence of grapes or something that he's got growing, but he's standing there leaning on his hoe or rake or whatever it is. You can't really tell here. It looks more like maybe a hoe. Because I don't see anything feathering out from it, but so he's leaning on that, and he's just taking a look. He's pausing for a moment, and he's just taking a look at what he has. Does he have enough? Did he grow enough? Did he manifest enough? Is he in a good place for the future, or does he need to do a little bit more? It's really just about taking stock of where you are, letting things settle out, and looking at the entire picture to see if everything is as you need it to be. So again, in terms of your own manifestation, taking stock, if you've started a new project or something like that, periodically you're going to have to stop for a moment and just look at the whole thing and step back and say, okay, am I on the right path? Am I on the right track? Am I doing what I need to do to complete the goal, essentially? And then we have card 8 of the major arcana, strength. And again, you see, just like with the magician here, you see the element of eternal, this eternal taming the wild within, transmuting ego into spirit, excuse me, so that it's spirit guiding your path instead of that higher consciousness guiding your path, instead of the instinct only or ego only. um, I mean, it's really a lovely card when you think about it. She's holding the lion's head in her hands very lovingly, and he's just very happy to be with her. That integration between soul and ego, soul and personality, is so important, and it takes inner strength really to make that happen. I think that it's very easy in form to be very reactive, and when that's happening, that's ego. That's ego reacting to everything around them, judging and making decisions that really don't necessarily reflect the entire picture of something. It's like when you judge somebody harshly and then you find out a little bit more about their background, and you realize, ooh, that may have been what was going on with that person, and you misjudge them. Essentially, they're really great people, but at the same time, they've got some issues that maybe interfere with some of that. And so if you can step back and see the whole person, and understand that they're really that there's more to the picture than meets the eye, then maybe you find a different resonance with that person. And again, when you're expressing Vunyo in your life, that's really what you're doing. The curiosity of Puella leaves you wanting to know more about that person, what's really going on with them, so that you can find a way to live in harmony and love and unity, and view with that person, and view the relationship as sacred, because it is. Even if it's teaching you only something about yourself, it's still a sacred experience. I think having both magician and the strength card here, both cards from the major arcana, really it's about manifesting that sort of experience, that vunyo in your life, if you will. And I think that the 7 here is just a reminder to take stock in what's going on. Is that happening for you? Are you able to do that, or are you at a juncture where you're having a hard time seeing the beauty in all things? And that includes people, and let's face it, people can be a real challenge at times, can't they? But let me look here. So 9 and 7, let's see. So we're looking at an overall numerology of the cards of 7. So yeah, 8 and 8 is 16, 7. Plus Vunyo is going to be 8. So that'd be 15, so 6. Now, overall with the rune, you're looking at a 6 numerology then. I like to look at the 6. 6 is about empathy. It's about harmony. It's about walking a shared path. And I think that the idea of a shared sense of Vunyo in our lives, in a sense, that's what we're doing. We realize that we're all one, essentially, in spirit. And even though we may, in a sense, be walking different paths here in form, in truth, we're really not. It's that collective awareness the Creator needs, and we're all taking care of that. We're all having those experiences and then bringing those experiences back into the collective memory of it all, the Akashic record of it all. And so whether we think we're on an individual path or we're not, in fact, we're not. We're on a shared path here, overall. And I think that if we learn to manifest Vunyo from that state of being, then I think it makes it a lot easier in terms of the Magician card to invoke the above side, the soul side of things, into our daily experiences that the Magician is suggesting with his as above, so below stance. And it doesn't mean that there aren't challenges. You see some mountains in the distance here, back in the background there. You see also, this is a big one, taming the wild within. You see a large mountain there. That these are daunting tasks. And depending, and it doesn't really matter in the long run what all the details of that are. What matters is that we bring the essence of spirit into everything we do. When we do that, then we see again, as the white buffalo calf woman is suggesting in our oracle card today, that we walk the sacred path of integrity, and from that we achieve true abundance. So I think it's kind of interesting that it seems like the oracle card and the runes and the cards here, the tarot cards, tend to dovetail together today. And again, it's about taking stock of our lives. Are we on the path of spirit here in form? Is that the path we're walking, or are we purely driven by ego? Where everything is transactional and everything is about the individual instead of about the collective. So I think that that's something to think about today. I don't think that this is necessarily a very specific reading. In other words, it's like not a work reading, for example, or something that's happening, between you and a partner or something. It's not like that. I think that this is just a higher perspective of how we see things and how we interact with our essentially our incarnation here. And again, are we doing that with integrity? Are we walking that shared sacred path together with others in the element of Vunyo, in the influence of Vunyo? And maintaining our curiosity and our joyfulness and our willingness to be that little girl that runs through the meadow chasing a butterfly. Is that what we are doing here? Are we viewing our experiences that way here and invoking that type of experience? Are we manifesting that type of experience, or are we just simply waiting for the experience to come to us? I think we're here to manifest. And again, we can do that from the ego's perspective, or we can maintain the higher awareness that the soul provides. So I think this is it. I don't think we need another card. Again, with the 6, if you're looking at the overall numerology of 6, showing empathy, being there to provide guidance and assistance for others, walking a shared path, that type of harmony, that's your offering. That's your sacred offering to other people, which again is part of Vunyo. Although Vunyo is the 8th rune of the Elder Futhark, it may align with the 8th card of the major arcana in strength and taming the wild within, transmuting ego into spirit, so that instead of it guiding you, you're telling the ego what to do. And again, if we begin with 7 with just the cards, I think that taking time with the as expressed with the 7 of Pentacles, to take that time to check in with yourself and see if you're still on that same path, or are you being drugged down into the lower vibrational ego of it all. That may be what you're taking stock of today. And just consider, what am I manifesting? Am I manifesting love and joy from higher awareness, or is it love and joy from simple, the transactional ego side of things? And I think that we lose that sacred path when we do that. So anyhow, I think that's it. I think we did it. Somewhat shorter, somewhat shorter reading today. But sometimes I think when it all just dovetails together, it's sort of easy to see what it is, and what it all means for us today and for the next few days. So, or maybe forever. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for coming. Welcome. And I hope you'll click subscribe and come back. And if you've been watching for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. And we'll talk again on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.